man!
What? What's all the racket?
Look.
Oh, it's a skull.
Yeah, no kidding, but how did it get here?
I don't know. Let's ask him.
Hey, quit kidding around. This is serious. Here, you hold it. I'll get some help.
Well, it seems we have a little mystery on our hands. How did this skull get in the backyard? Was it foul play? More importantly, who is, rather, was this person? Well, if you found a skull and want to find out who the person was, it helps to know what they looked like when they were alive. But how do you do that? I mean, how do you construct a face from a skull? Doesn't seem like much to work with. On the contrary, this skull is filled with clues, if you know where to look. But let's put aside my plastic prop skull and use an actual police case. 1992, Malvern, Arkansas. The remains of two people are discovered off an interstate highway. The remains consist of two skulls and a few scattered bones. Police determined the remains had been there for more than a year. So where do we start? I mean, how do we even begin to identify these people? Well, to narrow our search, we need three key pieces of information: the age, the sex, and the racial origin of the skull. Now, you may be asking, how do you get all that from a skull? Well, you can determine the sex of a skull by looking at the hole at the base here. This is where the spinal column joins with the brain. Now, men in general have a larger spinal column, so this hole tends to be larger. Now, you can get a rough idea of the age of a skull by looking at the sutures, or cracks. These are where the different plates of the skull join together. Now, these cracks change with age. When you're a baby, they're wide open. As you get older, they slowly close. In fact, a very old person will have little or no cracking at all. Their skull will be smooth. Now, the racial origin of a skull can be determined by a number of different features, like the thickness of the skull, the position of the cheekbones, whether high or low, how much the brow bone sticks out. Even the width of the nasal opening is a clue. Using these guidelines, pathologists at the scene in Arkansas determined one of the skulls to be that of a male, black, 25 to 35 years old.
Mike.
But that's just half the battle. You see, knowing the age, sex, and race of a skull still leaves you with thousands of possibilities. Now, to narrow those possibilities down even further, we need to take an even closer look at the skull. Photographs of the Arkansas skull were sent to a police identification lab for facial reconstruction. The process begins with a careful tracing of each photo. The tracings are then examined for facial landmarks. You see, there are a number of features on our skull that, when lined up properly, give you the rough positioning and size of different facial features. For example, these cracks on the sides of the eye sockets are used to position the eyes. Extend lines from the center of the eyes down, and you have the width of the mouth. The width of the nasal opening tells you how wide the nose is. Here's the preliminary sketch from the Arkansas skull. A good start, but still not enough. You see, the whole point of this is to make the face look as realistic as possible. To do that, we need texture and color and depth. Now, you could shade the sketch a little more. Some people even use clay to achieve a realistic effect. The artists in this lab prefer to use real facial parts. That's right, this cabinet contains more than 7,000 sets of eyes, ears, noses, and lips. Relax, it's the mugshot collection. Now, you may ask, why use mugshots? Well, first of all, they provide a wide selection of different sizes, colors, and shapes. Another reason is realism. These facial parts come from actual people, so the face you end up putting together appears more alive. Now, the next step in the reconstruction process is very much like one of my favorite childhood toys, Mr. Potato Head. You see, with Mr. Potato Head, you can try various combinations of eyes, ears, noses, mouths, even hats, to create various looks. The police artists use the same concept. Of course, their methods are a little more sophisticated. Once all the photos, mugshots, and sketches are assembled, they're scanned into a computer graphics program. The different facial features are then mixed and matched until the artist comes up with a face that fits the skull. Here's the final reconstruction. Now, this is only an approximation meant to jog someone's memory. But take a good look, because at the time this segment was produced, this man's identity was still a mystery.
Plastic prop skull. Very funny. Ha ha.
Liberty 105 North Avenue.
Yeah, but how'd you get here?
I don't know. Let's ask him.
Hey, how'd you get here?
Oh, don't quick get around.
Yeah, but how'd you get here?
I don't know. Let's ask him.
Hey, quit getting around.